All right, we'll start with, is Albert H. Cohen here yet?
Make more
All right,
sense.
and we'll start with Martin Hyde.
Okay, well, we still good? Ready to play? Okay. So, my name is Martin Hyde. I always grab my wallet when someone goes to such lengths to tell me that something's going to be good for me. I don't want to ponder on style over substance, but I do have to say this sort of Dick Turpin-esque "your park or we're gone" ultimatum is a little crude even by my standards. I'm not sure how you trade something that you don't actually own. When a partner says to the other they'd like it if they took better care of themselves out of love, it's one thing. But when a spouse demands something with the threat of looking elsewhere, if their desires aren't met, it's another thing altogether. Frankly, I think the hint of a new home in Lakewood Ranch is a bit of a stretch, as most of the big donors aren't going to relish a 45-minute each-way commute fighting their way up University Parkway in season to the former pasture land E275, this Lakewood Ranch. The question is one of permanence, which a city hall would be. It would also be the permanent concreting over of 20% of a park that the city paid millions of dollars to get to where it is today. The Legacy Trail is slated to be extended to Payne Park in the next few years. There are developments, both permitted and on the drawing board, that will increase the traffic counts in the area. I don't need a traffic study on 301, as I've done my own there several times a week for 20 years, pounding my steering wheel in frustration, taking 10 minutes to go from Sarasota Ford to the other side of Fruitville Road. 2,500 people trying to get to a concert hall isn't going to make that easier. The question has been legitimately asked as to how this conversation even got this far. Typically, if people ask for ridiculous indulgences, it's better to tell them it's a non-starter right away. How many cities that have been fighting urbanization would welcome the loss of 20% of a park that serves a whole and growing community? The answer is none. So whoever sat the orchestra down and agreed this was maybe doable is considerably at fault too. We are a city that loves the performing arts, but we also love our open spaces, where it's possible to leave the city behind to connect with our environment. The choice between a rock and a hard place is no kind of choice at all, and neither is the choice to lose parkland for our city versus what is still a minority of city residents that attend concerts of the Sarasota Orchestra. We can keep both, but not by giving a large chunk of Payne Park to the orchestra. So I say to Mr. McKenna and his friends, please think again, look to other sites. But if you do decide to go to Lakewood Ranch, you might want to invest in a couple of helicopters to get your biggest donors there for the opening stanzas over the traffic. Thank you.
Benjamin B. We're not going to tolerate clapping, booing, or heckling. You will be removed from the room if you do that. So please, we want everybody who comes up here to speak to feel comfortable speaking and not be afraid that somebody is going to make a comment or boo them or, applaud them. So Benjamin B.